May it please the viewers. So Gwyneth Paltrow is being sued by some guy who says she ran into him on a ski slope in Park City, Utah in 2016, and it looks like the case is going to trial. I wanted to talk about it a few minutes. I mean, a little bit, I'm sort of excited to have a case we're following that isn't, a double homicide, or somebody killed members of their family and graphic evidence and stuff like that. It's nice to have a little ski collision on your docket. And this case is interesting. This is a standard negligence case. The plaintiff alleges that she was skiing negligently and slammed into him, and she's countersuing, saying that actually he was skiing negligently and slammed into her. Now, it seems that she has the ski resort employees on her side. So far, what we've heard from employees of the resort favors her side of the story, not his. And that's why I'm referring to the case as he said, ski said, because the ski people seem to be on the defendant's side. And I think that is a huge hill for the plaintiff to have to get over to win this case. He has to prove, it's his burden of proof, by a preponderance of the evidence that Gwyneth Paltrow was skiing negligently and ran into him and caused him injuries. And that is all his burden of proof. And my question about that is this. He says he was skiing ahead of her and she crashed in from behind. First question on cross-examination. So you didn't see her skiing before she hit you. You don't know how she was skiing before she hit you, right? Which I think he has to say yes to. Then he says he was immediately knocked out. Next question on cross-examination. So you didn't see what she did after she hit you because you were unconscious. I think he has to say yes to that. So it becomes very difficult for him to establish that she was skiing negligently. His hook seems to be the usual rule of the road skiing, that the person uphill has a responsibility for the safety of the people downhill. The people downhill have right of way, and he's saying, therefore, sort of per se negligence by her crashing into him, she must have been negligent. I don't know if he's going to have medical reports that say from the injuries it appears he was hit from behind. I haven't heard anybody has any video or that kind of evidence, which surprises me because the ski resorts I've been to seem to have cameras on everything all the time, but I guess there's no video of this film. So they're gonna go into court. Why wouldn't this case settle? I mean, that is the fair question. She is worth, according to the internet, believe it if you want, Gwyneth Paltrow is worth about $200 million, and this claim seems to have been whittled down to a relatively small claim. Why wouldn't she just pay him some confidential amount and be done with it? Well, we're seeing a lot these days, celebrities taking things to court when they think their name and reputation is on the line. I've heard some theorize that she was at the ski resort with her children, and maybe she's making a point that she's not going to be bullied by someone who ran into her, who decided to resort to litigation and lodged a complaint. She's going to make him go through with it. Maybe the case will still settle. Lots of civil cases settle on the courthouse steps or in the courthouse or even during trial. You never know. But I do think at this point, with this case having been around for 8 years and the people involved in it seeming to be relatively well off and it hasn't settled, I assume it's going to go to trial. And we will see next week what happens in that regard. Again, I'm kind of looking forward to it. It's not such a horrible case, and it does have some interesting issues. We'll check it out, and we'll talk to you about it later.